Happy Friday, everyone. We are back with another video, and today's is very special because it is wedding cake day. Little backstory, my friend asked me to make her wedding cake. I am kind of a home baker. I've made cakes and cupcakes for quite a few of my friends and family, and she wanted me to make her wedding cake. She wanted it to be sentimental. She didn't want some random person making it. She wanted to remember someone that she cared about making it for her. So she chose me to make her wedding cake, which I am so excited about, but a little bit nervous because I've never made a wedding cake for anyone. I gotta prop my arm up here. I told you this camera is very heavy, so we're gonna prop my arm up. But I have never made a wedding cake for someone. Like I said, I've made all kinds of other cakes, cupcakes, cookies for people, but never have I made a full-blown wedding cake for someone. Now, this wedding cake is a smaller one. It's pretty much just for her and her husband and just to look cute on display and whatnot. But it's a small two-tiered wedding cake, and I did kind of replicate it a few weeks ago and let her try it and look at it, make sure it's what she wants. So that was successful. So I'm pretty confident that what I'm gonna make is hopefully gonna turn out the way she wants it to. So with all that being said, I did pick up a couple ingredients this morning from the store. I just needed a few extra things. I have most of it here. I did clean the kitchen. We wanna start with a clean kitchen. That's always my #1 priority when I make anything for anyone, whether it's just family, whatever. I always want a clean kitchen. I never wanna be the one responsible for someone getting sick. And especially being a home baker, you know, you're not really in a commercial kitchen, you're in your own kitchen. So always, if you are making anything for anyone, even if it's just family, you need to wash your hands and always have a clean kitchen, and I always tell people that. So yeah, I did all that. Everything's clean and ready to go, and we need to get started on this cake because it is going to take most of the day. I accounted for that and totally fine with it. I just want to make sure it turns out the way she wants it, so I am going to take my time with it and make sure everything gets done the correct way. My arm is currently breaking because I'm using my big camera, so with all that being said, I'm about to put this bad boy on a tripod and let's get going. Cake part. So because I don't have a big mixing bowl, I'm gonna have to make this in 2 batches, which not ideal, but it's gonna have to work for this. Okay, so I just got the first batch of cake layers in the oven. I'm gonna do all of that again to make my fourth bottom cake layer and then all the top layers. So I'm just gonna repeat that entire process all over again and then I'll be back. I just let these cakes sit for about probably closer to 15 minutes. Let them just cool and settle in the pan. Then I'm gonna flip them out because I need to let them completely cool to room temperature before I wrap them up and put them in the freezer. I'm gonna do one more of this size for the bottom layer because there's gonna be 4 layers on the bottom, 3 on the top. Oh yeah, the little ones are in the oven right now. Once I flip these out, I need to reuse one of these pans. I thought I had 4 of them, but I only have 3, which, I don't know. Cakes are double saran wrapped up and in the freezer right now. I'm just gonna let them freeze away while I work on the icing. I have all my butter chilling back here because I want it soft and room temperature. Funny story, I read a blog post on like the lightest color butter because I'm trying to achieve like a pretty white icing. And I was talked into Whole Foods butter this morning. So I bought it and I got it home and I looked at it and I was like, are you freaking kidding me? It's yellow. It's not light. So I just made a trip back to the store because I went and got Challenge butter. Challenge butter is like the lightest butter I could find, honestly. But all of it's chilling back there, setting to room temp. I'm gonna go ahead and do the worst part of making any cake. And that is sifting all my flour. And yes, I'm gonna go ahead and sift it all because we are keeping this train moving here. It's a whole process to do this. So I'm just gonna go ahead and sift all my powdered sugar up. I'm making a double batch of icing because I gotta have enough to ice this whole cake and it's gonna take forever. So we're getting started on it. Okay, we have literally all our powdered sugar sifted now. So that's done. That's honestly the worst part for me is sifting all of that because I'm like hand sifting it with this, which it's not awful, but I make a mess, which I didn't make a huge mess this time. I usually am worse, so we're doing pretty good. Let me start beating the butter because we gotta give it time, but I'm gonna do the buttercreams in 2 separate batches because it's gonna be too much for my mixer. So let's get started. This is the moment of truth right here. This is the most intense part of doing this entire cake. I'm trying to get it bright white if I can, and to neutralize the butter yellow, which there's not a lot, I have to put a small bit of purple in there. And I'm using like the smallest amount, and I'm just going little bit by little bit. First tier of the cake is crumb coated and in the fridge cooling. I did not appropriately figure out how much icing I needed, which it's fine because I can just make more. I intended on being able to use one batch of icing to crumb coat everything. It turns out I needed that entire batch of icing to literally just crumb coat the first tier. So I think total I'm gonna need 3 batches of icing. So I'm gonna make another one and then crumb coat the smaller layer, and then I'll make another one after I'm done with all that to fully put the cake together. I've gotta put the whole cake together tonight because I have to work tomorrow in the morning. I don't wanna be rushing around. I don't wanna have to worry about putting this cake together. I'm just concerned with it sitting overnight. I am doing like supports and structural things to help it maintain its shape and everything. I'm still just a little bit nervous, but I'm not gonna have time tomorrow to do it, so I've gotta get it done tonight. So I am going to go ahead and work on that second batch of icing and crumb coat the second tier, get that done, and then I will work on putting the whole thing together after that. So. week later, I realized I never finished this video, but I'm gonna fill you in on everything that happened. I worked on the cake all Friday. I got done with it super late, which is why I never even ended up finished filming this. But I had to work at 6:30 the next morning. I don't think I got to bed till either midnight or 1 in the morning. So I was a tired girly. But I got up the next day, went to work. I worked a half day, and then after work I came home, got ready for the wedding. Then we drove the cake to the venue, which was very stressful. On top of never making a wedding cake, I've never transported one either. So it was a first time for just about everything. I successfully made the cake and got it to the venue safely, thank goodness. I think I was going to be the most stressed all the way up until I cut that cake because I was like, it's gotta make it till then. But I did support structures and everything in it to hopefully help hold it up, and it worked. I didn't take much footage of what it actually looked like except for the stuff that I put in right before here, but I did take a video of the final product of it, so I'll put it in at the very end of this video so that you can see exactly how the entire cake turned out, because it did turn out beautiful. It matched her entire vibe. Her wedding was at a mansion, like an old mansion type building, all stone, kind of vintage. Totally matched her whole Pinterest board vibe she had going on, so turned out great, looks great, is gorgeous. So I am so thankful this entire thing worked out, and I'm glad I did it, and I'm so glad it worked out, but man, it was stressful, and I'm kind of happy it's over. Everything was a good time. The wedding was beautiful. The bride was gorgeous, of course, and we had a really good time, but I also had to work the next day, and so it was go all weekend, which is why I'm just now getting around to finishing this entire video. If you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and of course subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on future videos. I am so excited for all the things we have coming up, and I can't wait to show it to you. But with all that being said, I will see you next time. Bye.